Welcome once again to another edition of the Voida Fantasy League football season. Yes, the third year that we're doing this in the best goddamn league there is. And I'll tell you, I'm in some other leagues. Okay, I've been doing fantasy drafts for the past 3 nights. This is the first night I haven't done one, and none of them compare. I've been fighting for fab in some of these other leagues. I've been talking about how we don't need kickers, we don't need defenses. And you know what? There's no fab. We have kickers, and I had draft fucking defenses. Just over it. So I have been counting down until the Void of Fantasy League once again commences. And we are going to do that finally. Less than 1 week is our draft. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Write that down, Paul. Don't miss it. Don't auto draft for the third consecutive year. Or do. Shit, you end up in the playoffs every year, and guess what? You only lost by 1 point in the final game to yours truly. I do realize that I am the back-to-back champ of my own league, and don't get me wrong, I see the irony in that. But I'm going to enjoy it a little bit because I know I'm not going for 3 in a row. Too many of you are too good at playing fantasy football. And again, I'm at the 12th pick again this year, and I'm going to be keeping – I'm the only one who's keeping a certain set of players, and that's what we're going to get in here tonight. Tonight is the fantasy football keeper selection show. Seeing as we have less than a week until we draft, now's a good opportunity to know who is keeping who and how this league's going to operate this year. So you can start putting together your game plans, figuring out how you're going to execute the draft, because it's different for every one of us. You know, it's a 2-team or a 2-player keeper league. Again, without defenses, without kickers. So we have to figure out how we're going to navigate those first few rounds based on the personnel that we're keeping year to year. Some of us are keeping quarterbacks, some are keeping wide receivers, some running backs, tight ends, a combination of all of the above. And you have to have an understanding of how you're going to navigate that draft. I've been in some leagues where they don't let you know what the draft order is until 60 minutes before the draft, which is bullshit. How am I planning to be successful? How am I supposed to take care of the next 4 months of my life with 60 minutes of preparation? And that being said, some of you won't prepare at all. Some of you won't even see this. You know why? Because you don't give a shit. And you're not going to prepare, and you're going to show up, and you're going to still fucking win. That's the way it goes. That's fantasy football. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open a beer because it's I'm used to doing the Suns Jam Session podcast, and that's what we do there. And let's start to get into the keepers in our league. Teeth cracking cold to brew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the 12th pick, and I'll move all the way to the first pick. And again, your defending champion, Lead Farmers, will be keeping Josh Allen and Justin Herbert this year. Yeah, I figured, you know what? I got 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. This is a quarterback-heavy league. I'm going to keep the quarterbacks. Fuck it. And again, that's one of the reasons why I know I won't get a 3-peat, because it's just going to be too damn hard knowing that outside of my team, 22 other players are off the board, plus an additional 11. So 33 players are going to be off the board before I even get a chance to draft a player, you know, straight up. Like, I'm not going to have a chance to draft a player. And washed wrong, whoever the fuck you are, cheat my dick, okay? I work hard just like all you other motherfuckers do. All right, so with the 11th overall pick, formerly quit playing with your Peckler, it is the Griswolds, Paul Voida's team, and he's keeping Austin Eckler and Javonte Williams, so double running back for Paul this year. Obviously a big fan of Austin Eckler, naming his team after Austin Eckler last year, and I'll tell you, I mean, he's my brother. I talk to him all the time. Kid loves Javonte Williams. So there you go. He's going to be keeping both of those running backs headed into the next season. With the 10th overall pick, coming in third place last season, beat by a girly, is going to be keeping Justin Jefferson and Leonard Fournette. So that'll be interesting to see. You know, you got a wide receiver plus a running back right there, holding true to Tampa Bay. And Leonard Fournette, who got a ton of targets last year. We'll be interested to see if he does it again this year. I know that in one of my leagues, I already drafted him because I believe that he will. Tom Brady's old. His O-line's getting injured, a little bit more injured every day. Dump ball passes to Leo Fournette there all day long. With the 9th overall pick, Anthony Pauletto's team, Thwomp, is back, and he's bringing back Cooper Kupp and Jalen Hurts. Now, remember, Thwomp was the top scoring team last season and just couldn't win games, but got in the playoffs and got all the way to fourth place. Cooper Kupp, obviously, a historical season last year, and I know that Anthony was banking every time Cooper Kupp did something good. It was every week. It's like clockwork. And he actually ended up trading Derrick Henry to Ditka's Bastards because he could, because you have somebody like Cooper Kupp who is nonstop just holding it down. Next up, former TB12 and the legend of the 8 rings, this time going to be drafting in the 8th position, is 1 ass cheek, 3 toes. Those of you who watch Hard Knocks, you get it. Brian Carter is keeping Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook. I believe same keepers as last year, and guess what? Damn good keepers. So this is another team that has 2 running backs that are going to be part of the roster heading into next season. 2 top-tier running backs as well. In a typical draft, these players are going in the top 6. So 2 of the top 6 is not bad at all. Next up, drafting in the 7th spot, Lisa Boddington's team, Sacks in the City, keeping Matthew Stafford, former Detroit Lion, Super Bowl winning Matthew Stafford. And of course, the gentleman who is being drafted typically number 1 overall in the majority of fantasy drafts, Jonathan Taylor. And this is the second quarterback to come off the board. I'm the third. I'm sorry. I'm keeping 2. Here you go. Matthew Stafford. There's another one off the board. For all those of you who know how important a quarterback is in this league, it doesn't hurt to have a Matthew Stafford slanging the ball around there. Drafting 6th is Ron's team, aka your mother's mother, and he will be keeping Najee Harris and Deebo Samuel. Okay, so Ron, who changes his team all the time, and tried that tactic last year a little bit, would name his team after a deficiency of the opponent he was playing. Fun, clever, and he lost a lot, but he did make the playoffs. So cheers to you, Ron. Way to go. Your mother's mother. Coming in and drafting at the 5th overall spot is the Big Waller brand. Lamar Jackson, there you go, 4th quarterback off the board. And DeAndre Swift, solid running back off the board as well. That's oh yeah, good Paul. Paul's in the chat. That's the 4th quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a quarterback. Yeah, my bad. I missed Jalen Hurts. There you go. Jalen Hurts. Nice picture you got there, Paul. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy right here. He's so cute. But yeah, Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Swift for Big Waller brand. And unless Brad goes and drafts Darren Waller again, I expect a name change. And you already started to see some name changes, right? The Griswolds, your mother's mother, 3 ass cheeks, 1 toe. Some interesting little name changes in there. And again, that's what makes it fun. I keep it simple with mine. I just stick with lead farmers because at the end of the day,
I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker.
That's fucking right. All right, next up, the 4th overall pick in this year's draft, Ditka's Bastards. Kyler Murray, Derrick Henry. Can't complain with any one of those picks. Bastards, traded for Derrick Henry last year. Did a great job there. So acquired a pick, knew that last season wasn't going to work out, so did his best to play the game, play the long game. Short-term greed, long-term greed, right? Short-term greed, he wasn't going to win last year. So long-term greed, you know what? I'm going to trade for a player who I can keep going into next season. And there you go. Derrick Henry and Kyler Murray. Drafting 3rd overall, formerly Chubb City. Now it's Chubby Wubby. Chubby Wubby, Shannon's team, keeping Dak Prescott and Nick Chubb. Dak, Chubb, a lot of dick jokes there. So Chubby Wubby drafting 3rd overall, another quarterback off the board. We do have a new addition to this league this year. Taking the place of Andy Martinez's True Blue team is actually a combination of a couple good friends of mine, Brian Lizette and Tim DeLaca, guys I bowl with regularly and have played softball with in the past and known these guys for a long time. And, Brian is a Michigan State fan, and you have Tim being a San Francisco 49ers fan. They are smash and flash. So I've made their colors because you know me, I give you all helmets for some stupid reason. I've made their colors Michigan State colors, and then I use 49er font on their shit. And they're keeping Saquon Barkley and Travis Kelce. So there you go. I think that's the only tight end off the board. I think so. Paul, double check me there. But I don't think Mark Andrews, he's out there. Big Waller Brand's out there. So there you go. Second overall pick. So welcome to the league, fellas. Enjoy having the second overall pick. You'll kind of learn how this goes. Draft all your quarterbacks. And last but not least, the team with the first overall pick had the worst record last year, which is really surprising because, as I mentioned earlier, all those drafts that I'm in with this guy, Matthew Lissy. I am in every draft with Matthew Lissy, and he does the worst in this league. I don't get it. Come on, Matthew. You're better than that. Formerly the Diamond Dogs. Laney Master Baney is his team name this year, and he's keeping Patrick Mahomes and Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin and Patrick Mahomes for Matthew Lissy. So there you go. Top or all the keepers for our first 2 rounds are already off the board. A reminder, everybody, if you want to go ahead and Venmo me the $100, the $100 or the fee is increased to $100. People who didn't want to participate said goodbye, and you know what? I'm okay with that. Just make sure if you want to Venmo me at John Voida, go ahead and just knock it out early. I will pester you all season long. I still haven't decided this season if I'm going to be utilizing this format in an effort to communicate with the league or continue to just like write on the blog. I like to write, and I think I'll have a little bit more time this year. As you can see, I'm not on the road this year. I'm in my studio getting ready to tape another edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast here at about 8:00. So tune into that. But again, thank you for being a part of this league. I think it's a lot of fun. I think that we do a lot of good shit talking. None of it's malicious. I think that we do, there's trades that go on, tradings of draft picks, which is interesting. We didn't have any draft pick trades this year because what happens when there's a draft pick trade, I have to actually manually go in and reset the draft order based on transactions from the previous year. There weren't any. I'll double check just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure there's no draft pick trading this year. Everybody would tried out the first year. Is like, hold on. Pazik just traded away his number 2 overall pick, which is a keeper. I'm not sure if I'm going to be trading any draft picks. So we'll see. Again, I encourage movement. I encourage having a good time, having fun with this league. We have less than a week, 8 p.m. Looking forward to that. But until then, everybody, have a fantastic evening. I'll see you in the draft room next Tuesday, 8 p.m. So go home and love your family.